What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Family Homestead. So today I'm gonna keep going on this. I hope I get this side mostly cleaned out today. I think I can. It's going a little bit faster than I thought. And I think I'm gonna try and get the toolbox put that came from the old bird farm, get that put in the back of my truck and get a latch working for it. Whatever random stuff I find to do when I get tired of working. So I will say I found the downside to being in much better shape and not smoking. I've said a few times I've been having some trouble sleeping at night. And so last night I said, you know what? At about 8 o'clock, I turned headlights on and so I'm gonna go bust some of those cedar logs into rails. I've been meaning to do it for almost a year now. I know it was one of my first videos, and after busting 1 or 2 rails, I was done breathing hard and pretty much exhausted. And so I started about 8, and by 9, that's the result. And that's just the hard busting them in half. I was just busting them in half. So I think I went through like 10 or 11. Made a really big dent in my pile. Well, I guess it's no different than going to the gym. Just my gym. So at least I'm getting that accomplished, and I did sleep much better last night. Also going to try and hook up the trailer and get a big load of the big stuff here up on the trailer to take to the landfill either today or in the morning first thing. And yeah, well, I'm talking to put off getting started, but you gotta do it. So remember building the fence, I had to go out and buy a bunch of these. Knew I had them. Just couldn't figure out where they were. Along with that huge 100-foot extension cord, which is not cheap. I bought a couple and I found like 5 or 6. Oh, I guess that's why you spring clean. Oh no, this isn't good. I'm gonna show you guys something sad. Not sad. Sorry. That was mean. I know a lot of people thought the peacock was dead. I quite frankly think the peacock is dead. Because he wasn't even good in the sleep. Because he'll be laying out like that. And I'll get right up and like reach down to touch him before he wakes up. Like, oh Lord, something happened to the peacock. No, just the peacock. So maybe once I get all this stuff cleaned up, I'll be able to start getting eggs again. So I'll find them. No clue how long these have been here. I'm gonna have to float them. They don't look too bad, and honestly, they last a pretty long time if they're not washed, but I'd say these are probably bad. But look, I think those are from when my new chickens very first started laying. Look at the size. That's too funny. Chickens will be chickens. Alright, I'm gonna go switch over to the bucket and I'm gonna start clearing some more of this out and then start on the shelves and getting that all cleared out. Now, you can see I'm already throwing a lot of stuff away. It looks like and a lot of stuff is going over there. This is just the first sort. This is just the first cull. A whole lot of this stuff is going to be taken off to the dump or sold. Cause I don't, a lot of it's just ruined anyway, and I kind of want a clean slate. If it is something that's expensive or I think I might use in like the next 6 months, I'm gonna keep it. Other than that, if I haven't seen it in 5 years, I'm not gonna use it. And I gotta clean some of this junk out. I gotta have room. I gotta clean my head out. Sometimes just getting rid of most everything will help with that. Let's go get the bucket. All right, so got a little lazy for a minute. Went over to the old bird farm and talked with Robert. Sometimes you just gotta take a little break. So now we're gonna get back to it. and got a couple other little things to do as well. So it's another day to work. All right, everybody. Well, yeah, I'll probably knock off a bit early tonight. It's not really early, it's like after 7. But I got some other things to do. Well, I think for a day's work, that's pretty good. Yeah, so gotta get in here with the bucket. Gotta move Robert's Jeep there. He want to take it back to the farmstead, or to the old bird farm for him. And that way I can get in here and scrape backwards. Had to go take a shower after all day being in this goat poop and chicken poop. I just felt kind of grimy. So everything here is cleaned up. And I know people are wondering, like, well, you just moved things from one place to the other. Yes, that's kind of what is involved when you're doing a big spring clean and organized. I got trash. I've been trying to keep it bagged up a little bit better as much as possible. And then I think probably tomorrow a project will definitely be getting my big pressure washer running if I can, because all this stuff needs to be pressure washed for either selling it or if I want to keep it. Like I was saying earlier in the video, this is my first cull, if you will. This is just the stuff from in there that didn't go in the trash, and then I'm gonna start organizing it, go through it, and make another pallet over there somewhere I can cover with a tarp, and that's going to be my yard sale pile for here in a couple weeks. And I'll just put everything on there that I'm gonna sell. Gotta go get the big white tarp here in just a second and cover all this up. My to fix pile is getting much larger. Always does. I've got the old boxes of MREs there that are still good. Those spool tops surprisingly are in still really good condition, so they must have seasoned somehow. I'll figure something out for them. I was trying not to keep anything like that, but I'll give myself something to keep. You know, so much stuff I didn't even realize I had. This is a really good pump, expensive pump, was given to me. I know it's good because the guy put non-ethanol fuel and stay-bil in it. And then that's a broken motor, but it's got some linkage I need for this motor, which, oh, by the way, still has the packing oil in it. It's never even had real oil put in it. Never had a spark plug. The spark plug, the spark plug place key is still in there. So, but that's for a air compressor I've got. That has the motor went out, and I got a big brand new air compressor when the air compressor went out to put on it. Then the motor went out shortly after that. So I got that motor to put back on there because it's a really good portable air compressor. And I've just got to get a pulley because the pulley cracked when I was taking it apart 5 years ago. I got rid of some stuff. I'm sure some of my more eagle-eyed viewers noticed the large amount of storage containers and bins that were empty. Yeah, ADD Aaron on the shelves. So yes, I always had the best intentions of organizing, just never quite get around to it. All these shelves, tomorrow, day 3, this was day 2. Day 3, one thing I'm going to do is fix all these shelves, probably add more to the end, and then make doors, just half doors here with chicken wire, so that all the way down to the ground, so I can actually use this without the chickens getting in here and pooping and laying eggs everywhere. Well, another reason I need my pressure washer fixed. These shelves, my dad was really good friends, grew up with a guy who owned the ran the Napa Auto Parts up back home. I'm sure everyone's surprised my dad was good friends with an auto parts guy. But when Napa sold out to Advance, they had to get rid of all the Napa shelves, bring in the Advance shelves. Why? I don't know. So they called my dad and said, hey, you want these? And this was like years ago. but he got hundreds of those shelves. I've got a lot. He's used a lot. I've still got a lot laying around that I need to clean up to use, and he saw stacks of these things. So shelves are expensive, so that's a good thing to hoard. That's something you don't throw away. And all the stuff that was on the ground here, the hay, where I just hadn't cleaned out like years, you know, just putting hay in here and that last little bit, and food, you know, that would get spilt, and I'd just let it build up. So all of this went to my new compost pile, because it's pretty hot as far as nitrogen goes. Lots of chicken poop and goat poop, because the goats used to always come in there when they get out. So that's going to be the start of my new compost pile, and I think I'll make a box for it here at some point. But I want to be able to get in there with the tractor and turn it by next spring. Me carrying all the food scraps and all, instead of dumping, you know, down the septic tank, or throwing it in the trash. Well, all the food scraps will go back there. So by next spring, I should have some killer dirt and compost for the hugelkultur mounds that I'm gonna make. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, well, this is day 2, and I think it's gonna go a little bit quicker than I anticipated, which I was due a project like that. Everything taking so much longer, and especially with me being ruthless, throwing stuff away. For instance, this camping stuff, I was thinking about when the last time I actually looked in that box. Obviously the cast iron stuff won't go anywhere, but I think the last time I even looked in that box was probably 2004 or 5. I mean, a 15-year-old tent and some chairs that set and been in chicken poop and bugs. I'm not even trying. That's going to, if my rule this clean out is, if I haven't seen it in 5 years, I'm either selling it or throwing it away, because I obviously don't need it that much unless it's a very valuable keepsake. If I haven't seen it in 15 years, no, it's gone. Well, make sure and like, subscribe, and share so you can see the rest of this cleanup. And I actually really have some cool stuff on the other side, really cool things that hopefully aren't totally destroyed. So if you want to see all those and see my plans for organizing and putting it all back together and make it usable, make sure and subscribe so you get those notifications. All right, everybody, well, I will see you guys next time. Have a good evening.